is abortion really, right or wrong? Today I'm here to talk about, my stance on it, my beliefs on it, but, also what I learned and discovered throughout, researching, the topic of abortion, as well as, just reading these stories about, how it benefited people, or, how it really traumatized some people. I don't think it is, my personal belief. I don't think it's, you shouldn't believe what I'm saying, but, it's your opinion on what you want to take from it. With my upbringing, morals were a very important value, and, I had a, pretty religious upbringing. It wasn't, to an extent of, church every single Sunday, but it was, I was involved. I knew about God, I knew about the Bible, I've read the Bible, all that. So, morally, I don't think it's right to kill a living human being. Even if they don't really know that they're alive. I mean, some people can make that argument, but I mean, what do we really know about that? Do we know if they know that they're alive or not? I mean, we don't know. And the more I kept digging into, stories and topics about this, and just different articles and thought pieces, I come to find out that there is late-term abortion and even full-term abortion, which means, you can get the baby pulled out of you at 7, 8, 9 months along, when you're really supposed to be giving birth to this child. And, to me, it just, hearing about that makes my stomach turn. And, if I understand if, say, you're a rape victim, and say you get pregnant by this rapist, and you don't want to keep it. Okay, cool. That's your choice. But I ultimately believe whatever you do in life, the consequences that come with it, you're supposed to take those consequences, and you're supposed to deal with it. And I'm not saying that a child is a consequence, but I mean, a bad consequence, I should say. But morally, I don't see any part in that where killing a fetus, a baby, a human baby is right in any way, for any reason. There may be some times where, and it's a lot of the time now, where, people can't afford to bring the child into this world, and, they can't afford to give it a good life, and they don't want to put them through, a system, to get adopted, and, anything like that. They don't want to have to put them through that, so they think the best thing to do is, get an abortion, and I understand that, but we're talking about a human's life here. There's a lot that goes into it, and a lot, what's morally right, and what's, right for the person who is, who's having to make this decision. But it isn't something that anybody should be proud of or is proud of at the end of the day. And it's a very sad thing. It's a very hard discussion topic to talk about, because there's so many beliefs on it, and so many people think that it should be free healthcare, but it doesn't make sense. How is pretty much, in my opinion, I view it as murder. How is murder free healthcare? Because, for instance, the ones that didn't use any type of birth control, how is that healthcare for you making a stupid mistake and not using birth control? How is that like healthcare is making you better, making you healthier. You know that should be helping with sicknesses. You know all that, not killing children. And you know the more I looked into it, there's an average of 125,000 abortions a day. That means 50 or 60 million abortions a year. That is just so many lives that could have impacted the world, and so many people who could have benefited us, but we never gave them a chance. You know, and a lot of you could argue, well, how do we even know that they wanted to be born? Well, I mean, you know, I believe that we come here to help, and that we're sitting here on a mission, and that, you know, that mission is, you know, what our desires are, and what we believe our destiny is to be. And you know, it's not your place to take that away from somebody, even though they're a part of you and they're inside of you, and they're inside of you. So I would just like to, you know, leave you with those thoughts. Like I said, I can argue both sides because I really understand both sides, but at the end of the day, to me, abortion is just not morally right, and especially, you know, the late and full-term abortions that they're legalizing, you know, pretty much all over the U.S. right now. You know, New York is actually the first state that signed off on it, but you know, if you know, it shouldn't be it's just sad. Full-term and long-term abortion, like it shouldn't be a thing. It really shouldn't. But you know, I'll leave you with those thoughts. Thank you for your time.